and subscribe. This is the Nightly Fix on a beautiful Monday night, baby. Please head to our YouTube channel, Coolest Club Media. Please like and subscribe. If you don't do so, go to hell. But, I mean, nope. Yep, I'll stick with it. Go to hell. As you can see, Osita, he is out tonight. Hopefully we get our third partner back as soon as possible. But Osita's out tonight. That's all right. You got Steve. You got your guy here. We're gonna have a lot of fun tonight, Steve. Before we, no, thank you, Steve. You feel better? Before we get into some stuff. So before the show started, obviously we're running to 10 o'clock. I've been banging out the Food Network. You know, generally this time next week we'll have a little college football version of Monday Night Football that we'll be doing live, and then we'll have Monday Night Football the rest of the way. But Steve, I'm watching a little one of my favorite Food Network shows, Beat Bobby Flay. Do you know the concept of Beat Bobby Flay? Is if you are just joining us, Steve Serda believes he is a world-class cook, not chef, but a world-class cook.
I think world-class, but I'm very good.
Yeah, come on, don't back off of it now. You've asked more than
isn't it just Iron Chef, but it's just Bobby Flay? Like they name an ingredient and then they make something from it and see which person the judges like more.
No. So what it is you and another competitor, and those two face off with each other for the right to get to Bob Flay. Now, the key is you were right a little bit there. Bobby Flay gets to pick an item that you make as the main star of the dish. And he's got two other people who are also they're the decision makers of which chef they pick to try to beat Bobby Flay. So whoever wins the little one-on-one competition, which I'm not sure you would get through to get to Bobby Flay, to get to the point I want to get to, Steve.
I mean, probably not. Those people probably went to culinary school.
I'm just saying, even if
I'm a very good self-taught cook.
I'm just saying, even if it was somebody else that's a very good self-taught cook. I'm talking about if we put you in a pool of people who are in your range of cooking. Like, here we go. The amount of shit you talk about how good of a cook you are, you ought to roll through it. And so then the big point is whoever wins that cook-off to face Bobby Flay, they earn the right to beat Bobby Flay. They face off with Bobby, but they get to choose a signature dish that he has to also cook to get judged upon. So you got to be ready for what is the dish that I would pick to go head up against Bobby Flay. See, dumbasses, when they start talking about grill stuff, it's stupid because that's what Bobby Flay's great about. Like, you're not going to go do West cooking against Bobby Flay because that's his specialty. Probably not a lot of ribs either, beef stuff. Steve, what would be your signature dish? If you had to come ready, you got to go face, because the one I just watched, Bobby Flay just lost. He don't lose a lot. He lost because the person picked beef stroganoff, and they drilled Bobby with that. What would be your signature dish? This world-class cook.
I don't know. I think my favorite things I've ever made was like chicken parm sandwiches, or really good at fried chicken.
Not gonna get it. Fried
burrito.
chicken.
I make really, really good burrito.
That's where you go.
Yeah.
You probably take an L. That's your signature. That's your best.
Meatloaf. Make a great
meatloaf. That's not bad. I was gonna say, what's the best thing you roll out there? A little meatloaf, huh?
Mac and cheese. I make very good, like fresh homemade mac and cheese.
I'm sure you do. Probably not that great. It's all right. Okay. So which one?
Be very impressed.
Nail it down. Which one are you going with? You got to come down. You got to beat Bobby Flay. They say, Steve Serda, your signature dish to go up against Bobby Flay is?
I do mac and cheese. I'd kill it.
Yeah. All right. I don't know, man. That feels like that's right down his alley. That feels like he would roll
Are
in.
you sure?
See, where he gets got is maybe like that beef stroganoff. See, that's the thing is he gets aggressive. He tries to really change a dish, and so he tried to deconstruct that beef stroganoff, and it didn't work out for him. He tried to make it a different than the traditional version of it. It didn't roll with it. I would get my ass kicked, but I'm going down fighting. I'm going cedar plank smoked salmon right there, baby. That would be mine. Now I'm going down. He's going to kick my ass because I believe.
Do you have enough time to really smoke something properly? I guess Sam is
Yeah,
pretty fast.
you get an hour. Yeah, you can rock and roll this thing. You get an hour for this dish. Yeah. Oh yeah. Get that thing turned up. Give me a good smoke. Get cedar plank. Probably, but I'd have to try to do a little marinade real quick to jump on that bad boy. Maybe a little quick brine. I knock that thing out, man. Sorry, man.
I'm very good at like Asian noodles, like different kinds of Asian noodles.
Yeah.
Thai noodles, very good at that. Pad Thai.
He would smoke
It's
you.
like there's these Korean noodles that I make quite frequently that are just tremendous, unbelievable.
I bet you don't probably watch the Food Network, but I bet you watch some little game shows and feel like, oh, I can do it. I did it. Me and Courtney, we did Chop. We did Chop. She had to do three meals. She had to do an appetizer, a main course, and a dessert. And we went to the grocery store and just gave her. She had 3 boxes to open up and to make some stuff. She did all right. She did all right. All right.
Like you can order them.
No, I think I took my oldest and we went to the grocery store and we were like, all right, we gotta come up with 3 boxes. Like we got to come up with an appetizer box, an entree box,
so she didn't have like a recipe to go off of. Like she just
so you don't. Oh my god, you don't know what Chopped is?
No, I don't watch those.
Oh my god, get over yourself, Jesus! Chopped is basically there's 4 contestants and they give them a box and you don't know what ingredients are in there. They open up the box and it'll be like you've got a ribeye and a pear and a chocolate candy bar and and plantains. Go make an entree. And you gotta incorporate all of those in the meal, but you gotta make it so that you start with an appetizer, entree, and dessert. Like that dessert, like they'll screw you in there. They'll stick you in there. Here, bam, there you go. You got some chocolate. Bam, here's a potato. Like, yeah, they'll mess with you. Oh, but yeah, she knocked it out. She opened up the box. She had 30 minutes to come up with an appetizer. She just picked it out. Bam, went with it. I think the appetizer box, if I remember, was like smoked. She got like just smoked turkey legs, and then like an Asian pear and something else. But she smoked it. You gotta
That
jump on
sounds
there.
fun. I would be good at that. I would be good at that.
I don't know, man. You think you can look at you think you can look at a box of food and come up with a meal that you can get that you can bang out in 30 minutes?
Yeah,
but using
I do that all the time just based off of what I have around the house.
But there's always like there's always an ingredient they stick in there to mess with you.
Yeah, but if it was like chocolate and potato, okay, boom, easy. Potato chips, sweet and salty, and then you do something with the chocolate, like boom. Sweet and savory dessert. Boom. Easy.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd like to see. You never know what that third or fourth item might be. They'll throw like Skittles in the appetizer one, and you got to figure out something to do with the Skittles. No, man, you gotta.
Feel like you could bake them into something.
Steve, you have. I'm sorry. I did
No,
not
I don't
know we
really
were
eat
gonna.
Skittles.
I don't know we were gonna get into this. Steve, you've never seen Chopped? Like you've never heard of Chopped? This is
No, I mean, I think I've heard of it, but I don't watch those kinds of
like
things.
you had no
So.
understanding. Get out of here! No, again, I don't watch those kinds of things.
I mean, I've seen like cooking shows here and there because I did used to watch cooking shows, but this was like a long time ago. Like we're talking back when I had cable and I would scroll. It has been well over a decade since I've had cable now, but
whatever
I
you
stream
have,
everything.
whatever you have, Food Network should go with it. Like you should be able.
Well,
to,
it's on. I have
yeah.
YouTube TV and it's
Yeah.
on Food Network, but the problem is I don't really get on YouTube TV and scroll. I essentially just use YouTube TV to record things or watch sports, and then everything else I watch on streaming platforms. Like I don't go to YouTube TV and just scroll it very often.
By the way,
I don't watch things like that.
By the way, I'm about to move exclusively to YouTube TV.
It's not bad.
Making the turn.
So apparently they might lose Fox if they don't get some negotiations figured out here pretty quick. So
well, then I may not leave YouTube TV. they better figure some stuff out. What are you the kind of the big story coming off the weekend? What do you think about this situation? I think he is a polarizing figure, Shedeur Sanders, and that's been like a big thing coming off of his weekend performance. It did not go well for a lot of different ways. He was 3 of 6 for 14 good yards, 0 touchdown, 0 picks, 5 sacks in those those short moments that he played. By the way, I will like to say that I think they ended up cutting all 5 of the offensive linemen that were blocking for him in that period of time he was in against the Rams. So all of them are not NFL players, obviously, and the receivers weren't either. But it was still bad. There was. I mean, you just can't get around that. But the big thing is people roll around to Kevin Stefanski about sabotage, and he kind of addressed that. Somebody flat asked him that after the game. He said, "I don't concern myself with outside type of things, but I am committed to his development, just like I am with all of our rookies." Listen, I don't think there is any sabotage. I don't think that Kevin Stefanski wanted Shedeur Sanders. I don't think that was his selection. I don't think he was like, "Hey, man, hey, Andrew, boy, we got to go get him." I don't think that was in the plan for him. I certainly don't think he loves all of this attention and the mere fact that a 5th rounder would bring the thought of sabotage. I don't think that he is on purpose trying to set him up to fail. Or I think I heard some people this weekend, my favorite, Serda, was, oh, he called the good plays for Dylan Gabriel, but then called the bad plays for Shedeur. I don't think it's that. I do, though, believe they do judge him as the 5th round quarterback that they selected, and I don't know that is moved because of who they continue to have him playing with. I think they sense and see him as behind. Now, they did just trade Kenny Pickett to the Raiders, so they will, it looks like, keep all 3 of them. But I don't think it's a self-sabotage, but I do personally think it is a deal of, yep, he's a 5th round quarterback, and that's how we view him. And I don't think he got the same opportunities in terms of the guys and the group of guys that he got to play with compared to the group of guys that Dylan Gabriel got to play with over the last 2 weeks. But I don't think any 4th string or 3rd string quarterback got to play with the same guys that the starter or the number 2 quarterback did. So I think they just treated him the way that they would normally treat a 3rd or 4th string quarterback. But I don't think it's sabotage. I do think he is playing with one arm tied behind his back, where he doesn't have very many ways to kind of show himself. the few opportunities he gets, like he may not get another opportunity to play again until next year. But I think that's what all fifth round quarterbacks and third or fourth string quarterbacks deal with is they don't get a lot of the same fair opportunities because of where they are on the depth chart. And I think that part is kind of tough for those that are supporters because the feel is he shouldn't have been that in the damn first place. And that is the feel of it. And I don't think Kevin Stefanski is trying to have him suck on purpose. But I just I don't think they view him more than a fifth round pick, which I don't agree with.
Yeah, and I mean, you might not agree with that. And I think he deserved to get drafted higher than that too. But, whatever circumstances in NFL teams' minds that led him to lasting that long in the NFL draft, if he would have been a second round pick, like most people had him projected, and then if he was competing with Dylan Gabriel or whatever, Shedeur's been going through the same training camp, the same practices, like the same types of things. And that those reps do get harder during the regular season because you don't get the same type of reps in the regular season practices that you get in training camp practices. So it's like you have a limited amount of time as a guy that's not drafted as a high-end talent to try to show something. And I am willing to bet Kevin Stefanski, who's got a reasonable track record as an offensive-minded coach and has had some success with guys, though Cleveland has just constantly been in bad quarterback situations. But I mean, I don't know why, if it was out of Kevin Stefanski's hands that they draft him, which I agree with you, it probably was, why would it be Kevin Stefanski setting him up for sabotage? If Jimmy Haslam was the one that insisted on them drafting Shedeur Sanders, and he thought Shedeur Sanders should be their starting quarterback this season, wouldn't Jimmy Haslam be trying to force Kevin Stefanski to put Shedeur Sanders in better situations? It seems like they put him in the situation that they thought he was playing up to. And yeah, maybe that wasn't great. But if it was literally any other fifth round quarterback pick in NFL history, nobody would care that he was playing with fourth string players in the fourth quarter of a preseason game.
Yeah, but Steve, he's not a normal fifth round draft pick. And not even if you take away the fame stuff, right? Like his play, if his name was Shedeur Williams, his play and everything he did at the previous level and how people viewed him was not to be in the position that he was in. My thing is, one, again, I read off his stats. He did not play well, and it was not, I think a lot of it had to do what was around him. I don't think that was it. I think he kept trying to make plays. I could see how Dylan Gabriel's performance and Joe Flacco's performance ahead of him maybe pushed him to want to make more plays or try to make more plays. But he tried to make plays. There were a couple of the 5 sacks that he probably could have got the ball out. I would say at least 2 of them. He could have at least thrown them away and got them out. So I do think there were some things that he could work on, and there were some holding of the ball issues at Colorado. So I get that. A couple of things that I've sat around and kind of listened to for the last couple of days is, I'll be honest, Steve, and following this situation, Saturday's game against the Rams and that performance, the 3 of 6 or whatever performance for whatever he did, that to me is really the first time that I heard throughout camp that he was playing poorly. Right? Everything else is, man, he's looked really good. He's picking up the offense really well. And then we watched him go out there where he got to play, 45 snaps in the game against Carolina, and he looked pretty good. Not perfect, but he looked pretty good, made some good NFL tight window throws, made some good decisions, threw 2 touchdowns, didn't turn the ball over, didn't take nearly as many sacks like he did in this game. But it's like everything else to me has been like flushed. And now with him, it seems like the bulk of what we're judging him by is the game against the Rams. And that part to me is something that I don't think is fair. I don't agree with. It's like the Carolina stuff didn't happen. That game didn't happen. All the practice stuff didn't happen. And bam, that's Dylan Gabriel, his best performance. It's not like, hey man, we're putting Dylan Gabriel's performance that he had against the Eagles, up against the performance that Shedeur had against the Panthers, right? And maybe Dylan is more ready. I've seen a lot of people that know quarterback play much better than I do, and maybe he is more ready. But that part to me is, I think, a little unfair to where Shedeur's performance Saturday seems to be the end all be all and nothing else like has happened, which he has had a pretty good camp and a good preseason up to that until he had the oblique issue that kept him out of the second game. But I mean, I think overall he has played good football, like at least from the reports we're getting and the 2 performances we saw from him in the preseason. Now Saturday was awful, but I like I said earlier, I think he is playing with one arm tied behind his back for multiple reasons. One, because of where he was drafted, and 2, I think there are some preconceived notions about him in his game that anytime it comes out, it's heightened of, that's why he's not ready. That's why he's not ready.
But like I don't even necessarily like agree with that though. Like he's such a topic of conversation right now strictly because of the profile that his name brings with it. And yes, maybe that is the sole reason that he dropped in the NFL draft, but it's not the first time that we've seen a player slide in the NFL draft based off of what front offices think and scouts think, despite the fact that like talent evaluators across the country are like, oh, this guy doesn't deserve, this guy should have been picked way ahead of where he was drafted. Like, it is strictly because of his name that it is such a topic of conversation. And personally, like, I'm rooting for Shedeur Sanders to succeed. I think the Browns are a really bad football team, and they've got a ton of draft picks going into next year's draft. And I think that they're hoping they suck bad enough to just get a high-end quarterback prospect in next year's draft. They've already got 2 first-round picks. And I think that this season is all about playing for next year for Cleveland. But I think that what really sucks about this situation is that now it's such a topic of conversation that now everybody is just like turning this into such a big deal because it's a monetization online thing where it generates traffic and people becomes reactionary out of anybody. And so we're losing sight of the conversation of like, okay, like, can we honestly evaluate Shedeur Sanders as a player anymore? Or is this just all about generating buzz because he's a player that people seem to have strong opinions about one way or the other?
Yeah, hell, I'll come back and disagree with your ass then on your statement, Steve. No, I don't think it was just that he is in the news because of his name. And no, I don't think we have seen a quarterback drop in the manner that, or especially a player, I'll even say a player, in a manner in which he did that didn't have anything to do with some sort of legal stuff, some sort of major red flag. This was a new red flag that saw somebody drop at the very least from round 2 to round 5. All right. There are many who had him in the first round. Let's just say from round 2 to round 5. His red flag seemed to be his persona, his father, Like, we've not seen that. We've not seen a guy drop from many people thinking he's going to be a first rounder, a second rounder, at worst at the quarterback position, drop down to the 5th round. And I think it is hard to evaluate him in the manner where you just, all right, let's look at him. He's a 5th round quarterback. I think it's hard to evaluate him because walking into it, Steve, you have covered this league. You know this. 5th and 6th round quarterbacks don't get fair shakes. Like, we just talked about it from the beginning. 6th round quarterbacks don't get fair. It's not fair. Like, they're not given great opportunities to show themselves who they are. And
like even Brock Purdy, it took injuries and failures before he got it. And
he's certainly the exception, not something that we see often. And so I just think when you're Brock was Mr. Irrelevant. When you're gonna when you can bring up Brock compared to people like Mel Kiper who do the draft every year, and I know it's fun to say Mel gets things wrong, so he don't get things this wrong, like that he's got him in the 1st round, and now we got to say he's more closer to getting opportunities, and he needs an act of God, multiple acts of God's, the rate Brock Purdy had, like that puts him in a tough spot to start with. I don't know. I think the odds are, Steve, and maybe you disagree. I think not even just odds. I think if I were to put money, I don't think he ever starts a game in the NFL.
I think probably not. I think he would have to go to an organization.
Yeah.
Like, he would have to go to an organization where the head coach really has the control, like a Rams, I think, with like Sean McVay or Kyle Shanahan or Andy Reid, or like even like the Eagles, like with just like Nick Sirianni and like Howie Roseman. Like, it would have to be an organization like that is above like ownership mingling and insisting on being involved in decision making about the football operations.
I think it has to be somebody that just believes in him. Like, I get all that stuff you're saying. I don't think he's in a situation in which, again, the way we started off, I do not think there is sabotage from Kevin Stefanski and the Browns. But I don't think that the head coach and maybe even the offense, I don't think they believe in Shedeur. Right? Like, I think there's an argument to say it was almost forced on him. Right? Like, I don't think there is a belief in him. I watched Brian Daboll, and we talked about our guy. He appears to believe in Jackson Dart. Like, he's not the starter right now. Russ is a starter right now. But I think even if Russ got injured right away, they may go with Jameis because of his experience. But you can tell Brian Daboll believes in Jackson Dart. I think that's going to be the big thing that has him get on the field, is if he can find someone that believes in him. And quite frankly, Steve, by what we watched around how the league approached it, whatever reason it was that he dropped to that 5th round, I don't know how many coaches or how many guys are out there who say, you know what, I believe in him. I believe in Shedeur Sanders. And I think that's what's going to run him into being a third string quarterback, getting out of the 5th round pick thing. Hell, even Kyle believes in Brock Purdy, right? He even believed in him. That to me is the biggest problem. By the way, as you listen to Foolish Club Media, we got content rolling out all the time. Veach Season, Brian's World, B Block Podcast, Show and BK, all of that. Steve, I ain't gonna try to get myself too amped up, but I feel like the old Chiefs offense looks like it's back. I've said this a couple of times. I have felt this a couple of times and been duped. But I'm telling you, I know it was one preseason game. Hell, I was surprised they played as long as they did. I am glad they did. But I have not seen that offense. And I don't even, and there have even times I've even tried to trick myself into believing it. I have not seen that offense appear to move and operate with the ease that they did in that first quarter plus they were in the game against the Bears Friday night. I haven't seen them move and operate with that level of ease in a good 2 years. A good since the first year without Tyreek. That's the last time that I have watched that group move with the level of ease that they move with. I mean, there was time. These guys, there was separation. It wasn't like Mahomes had to throw in just extreme tight windows. There was action all over the place. There was a level of confidence. Like this is, I'm not willing to get sucked in to say this yet because I've felt it a couple of times. But when you start to look at the weapons and you look at the pass protection this offensive line gave and so many different, the run game, whatever, it looks like the Chiefs are potentially back to being a top 5 offense. Like I don't think they've been at 15 the last 2 years, 15th ranked offense. I think they may be back to get back into the top 5.
It was certainly promising. Should have been 3 straight touchdown drives to start the game. And for the first time in a long time, it felt like Mahomes had legitimate protection.
Well, not just that, he trusted it, right?
Yeah, he had time. He was surveying the field. He was, he was breaking the pocket when he needed to break the pocket, and then still like keeping his eyes downfield and finding guys open and like taking off and running. It was just like this is how they felt for years. Like they just like, oh, you can play good coverage, you can get after Mahomes, but then he'll buy just enough time to keep making a play. And then when the protection does hold up, he's going to carve you up down the field. And then you're going to come play up close, and he's going to beat you on the short intermediate stuff, or he's going to take off and run. And like, there's just no way to stop it. And yes, it was just 3 series in a preseason game, but it was against most of the Bears starting defense, and the Bears defense should be pretty damn good.
It was just so it just looked, I don't want to say easy, but this offense the last couple of years sort of like, I mean, they look like they are grinding out every single play and drive. Like it is so hard for them to grind every single time. And it was like, wow, a big play. How about the deep ball? I mean, he did pull a little air on it and let him go get it, but it just that ease factor is just something that we just haven't been seeing the last couple of years. They seem to have to work so hard. Like it feels like, oh, we got to go 12, 13 plays to get this thing done. Yeah. Now they just, I don't know. Maybe like you said, you know what? You're right. I got to reel it in. Damn it. It was just three drives against the Bears. They weren't trying a lot of stuff. You're right. I'm not. You're right. I'm not going to let myself get.
I'm not trying to talk you out of it.
No, you are. You're right. You're right.
I'm in. Because it was just everybody too. Like yes. It was the way that they were dispersing the ball. Like it wasn't because too. We've seen just so much the past couple of years. It's like, okay, get Kelsey the ball. Everybody's paying attention to Kelsey. And then it's like, okay, well, 2 years ago, it wasn't until the back half of the season we saw them really work Rashee Rice into the offense. And then last year, we didn't really see Xavier Worthy really take this big jump until the second half of the season. But before that, it was MVS. It was like, okay, Kelsey, who else you got? Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Justin Watson, and now you have like legitimate difference makers, and this is without Hollywood Brown even factoring into this thing. Like I think Worthy and Rice have a chance to be like legitimately one of the top wide receiver duos in the league. Like I think Xavier Worthy is so much better than a lot of people are even giving him credit for. And And Rice, like, we know what he is capable of. And then I think Kelsey even looked faster and younger almost in those three series.
All right, let's
and then Pacheco showed the burst, and then Tyquan Thornton looks like he is going to be like a steal for the Chiefs. Like Andy Reid is going to unlock Tyquan Thornton's potential, possibly. Like, there's a reason they traded Sky Moore, because they knew how deep this wide receiver room is, and we haven't been able to say that for a really long time.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry. Sky Moore was bound to get cut. I don't care.
Well, yes, I was saying all preseason he needed to be cut.
A couple things of what you just said. I just don't know how Isaiah wasn't able to avoid that trash can. And I thought he was going to pull the Gus Frerotte. You remember when Gus Frerotte ran his head into the wall and hurt his neck and was out for the season? I mean, when Isaiah got over there, I mean, he just ran into everything. And I said, oh, my God, if this nut gets hurt right here this way, that was – I had to rewatch that several times and watch him just take out that trash can and got his ass back up. But I'll calm down on the Kelsey thing. I think one of the things that will help him is I don't think all the attention will be his way. I do think the dream and the thought of Hollywood and Xavier Worthy clearing out for him, or even Rashid Rice clearing out for him, will allow him to get, better matchups, and he'll be able to do stuff. Like the play that got it for me, Steve, was, and I'm screaming and yelling at him, get your ass down. Get your ass down. It was the 18, 20-yard scramble that Mahomes had. And I just haven't seen them, and it was a preseason game, but I just haven't seen them appear to have fun in the way that they were having fun. Like, he goes and slides down.
Years.
And he was, you know what I'm saying?
I think it's been since like 2021 that they looked like they were having that much fun on offense.
No, he doesn't. He didn't. He got up laughing around, messing around. I mean, old Big 97 didn't have a shot. Everybody's yelling, get down, slide. He slid, he got down. But he got up, and they having fun, and the receivers have that little, what is that? That little celebration they do there. Whatever that is. That little celebration they do, that was the Chiefs, where Damian Williams is running for long touchdowns, and the only person to catch him is Tyreek, and Tyreek tries to get on a dead sprint to catch him, to put his arm around his back to cross the end zone, or jumping into the camera well. Like, they haven't even had good celebrations in the last 2 years, right? Like, I mean, they're just well, first off, they're probably not getting in as much as they normally have, but they I don't know, boy. They feel like the Chiefs at the start of this. They feel like a different version of what we've seen the last couple of years. And boy, it feels like, as you said, the weapons they have, and they're going to have to cut loose to some guys they can't deal with, they can't keep. And it all starts up front with the offensive line, right? Like the protection. Kingsley, I thought, and I know you've answered Mitch, Kingsley, I thought was really, really good, especially in pass protection. And Josh Simmons looks like an absolute steal. Trey tried to kill multiple people in that game in his pass protection. And you could just see, like, that's the other part. He has confidence in it, like moving around and like he has confidence in extending plays to I think, and anybody, many of you are Chiefs haters, but it's better. It's like this version of the Chiefs being, at least if you're gonna hate them, they're fun, and there's interesting stuff to watch. I'll give you that.
I think part of that is why it's become so easy to hate them, because they've been kind of forced down everybody's throat nationally, and they haven't been fun to watch for the last 2 years. Yeah. Like, it's still like primetime television. Like, they still, late in the fourth quarter, if it's a one-score game, like, Mahomes is going to give them a chance to win the football game. More often than not, he's going to bring them back and win it. And they're going to make just enough plays to, like, pull it off. But that's what's opened the door for everybody to question them. And this version, at least, is like entertaining as hell. If they go back to being able to drop 35 points a game, like, I think people are going to start having fun with the Chiefs a little bit again, and Mahomes will start getting, because everybody's kind of started to turn on him and is making this argument for like Josh Allen now. And I think you'll start to see people come back down to earth and just be like, all right, like Mahomes is like one of the greatest that we've ever seen.
If they can stay healthy, this does not feel like a 22.5 point per game team. like that's where they were last year. They were kind of around that before. This doesn't feel like
and Rice
like
suspension looming. Like, we'll see what happens with that. But even without Rice, I think Brown, Worthy, and Thornton could still be intriguing, but Rashee Rice makes them one of the like 3 best offenses in the NFL.
Yeah, if Thornton's your fourth, it absolutely it absolutely changes things. But I don't know. That is a good theory. You think they will become likable in some way again if they're able to put up 35, put up 20.
Because I think so much of the football fan these days too is like just so knee deep in gambling and fantasy football, and the Chiefs were like, for a long time, were like one of the biggest, easiest things to like bank on offensively with production. And they've been so frustrating the last few years. Like, you get a 40+ touchdown season out of Patrick Mahomes, like MVP campaign again. And Kelsey, is never going to look like prime Kelsey again. But if Kelsey looks like he's still like one of the best tight ends in football, and then they actually have wide receivers who can put up numbers and make plays and like go out there and have like top 10, 15 caliber wide receiver seasons, I think a lot of people are going to change their tune on how much fun the Chiefs are.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of people who just, which I think it's a fair thing for based on what we've seen the last couple of years, and especially without Tyreek Hill, that the Chiefs' dominant offense days are over. I don't think that is the case, and I have thought it, Steve, from the jump. I've thought, like, hold on, man, are people looking at these weapons like I am? If their offensive line, which was, I think, a fair if their offensive line can put it together, like, they have a scary group of skills. And this is before Thornton has just gone off and become, another weapon, like an upgrade over a Justin Watson or a Sky Moore or whoever he's playing for. Like, Rashee Rice, in the way that Worthy came on, and again, I've said this, there are so many lost yards out there for Xavier Worthy that they just didn't account for, whether that be for himself with not connecting with Mahomes or Mahomes doing it. There are a lot of lost yards out there, hidden yards that he didn't get. I'm like, man, Hollywood Brown's your third receiver, and really maybe even fourth if you put Kelsey. I don't know. I don't know. This offense is starting to excite me, starting to turn me on just a tad.
And like, I'm not convinced that Hollywood is like washed up or something either. Like, he's still a young player. Yes, he's injury prone, but like, if you can just get him on the field for most of the season, it's going to change everything, I think. And maybe Thornton can really be that guy too. But like, they just haven't had this much legitimate speed in years.
Well, I mean, that's the thing is, somebody's third, fourth options in coverage Serda are going to have to be covering Hollywood Brown and Thornton. Like that is problematic.
No.
Right?
We didn't even talk about Brashard Smith. Like, I was really questioning the usage of Brashard Smith in the preseason, and everybody's telling me, oh, he's going to have such a big role. And then right out of the gate, using Brashard Smith as a straight up wide receiver out of the backfield. Like, that was his only role. They're like, we don't even need you to run the ball. Just go run routes.
Jared McKinnon, baby. He'll probably sneak a couple of runs in there. Is I don't know, boy. That made me feel better. And I mean, in the defense, I think I don't know if the defense is going to be as good as it has been the last 2 years, but I don't think it's going to be, the early years of the Chiefs.
It's not going to be 2018 bad.
No, or not even 19, right? Like where it was like, all right, Spags dialed it up. I still
got too much talent, and they brought back Derek Nottie. So,
I think they easily, yeah. Big Derek Nottie, baby, that run stuffer. They look like, I don't want to be too aggressive, but they look like they're going to be a team that has both top 10 offense and defense, potentially top 5.
I think so too.
With this offense, and nobody seems to really believe that until maybe they played against the Bears, and now people are like, oh, this Josh Simmons fella.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell? Yeah, I'm turned on.